Hello and welcome to the Karen Cave. Today's session is going to be about how to preserve your goods. I've got 3 different methods that we're going to take a look at, and let's get started. The first one is the high pressure canner. There's a lot of different pressure canners out there. I'm going to make some recommendations and put those in the links below. And we'll start with that one. The second one is just your basic Ziploc bag and how you can just make it as simple as it can be on yourself by using a Ziploc bag and putting it in the freezer. And the third one is the hot water bath. How do we use this? Why do we use it? And it is simple as just as much as the freezer bags. So let's get started and let's take a look at all 3 of these. My choice for my high pressure canner is the Ball Fresh Tech canner. And as you can see on the front panel, there's different choices for different things that you would like to can. Low acidic foods must be processed in a pressure canner to be free of botulism risks. That is very important when you're learning to can. Although pressure canners may also be used for processing acidic foods, boiling water canners are recommended for this purpose because they are faster. And we'll talk about those in this session as well. A pressure canner would require from 55 to 100 minutes to process a load of jars, while the total time for processing most acidic foods in boiling waters varies from 25 to 60 minutes. A boiling water canner loaded with filled jars requires about 20 to 30 minutes of heating before its water begins to boil. A loaded pressure canner requires about 12 to 15 minutes of heating before it begins to vent. Another 10 minutes to vent the canner, another 5 minutes to pressurize the canner, and another 8 to 10 minutes to process the acidic foods. And finally, another 20 to 60 minutes to cool the canner before removing the jars. Freezing is one of the simplest and most convenient ways to preserve both raw and freshly prepared foods. Freezing just ripe foods captures flavors at the best and allows you to preserve the pick of the crop in any size batch. It's an easy way to preserve fruits and vegetables to create an assortment of recipes. Once you have your preserves done, stick them in a bag and let's put them in the freezer. Use them later for your pies and other assortments of recipes that we will use later on. Water bath canning is a preservation method used only for high acidic foods. Foods such as fruits or pickles that create an environment in a vacuum-sealed jar. This high acidic environment is inhospitable to molds, yeast, bacteria, and enzymes, which we call the spoilers, that you don't want within canning. Here's how it works. A packed and loosely sealed jar is placed in a bath of boiling water long enough to bring the food inside to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat expands the food, pushing out all the air. When the jar is removed from the water bath, it begins to cool and contract, which forms the vacuum seal. As you notice, when I poured in the water, you want to make sure that your jars are at least covered by 1 inch of water. This newly created seal environment keeps all the microorganisms out while killing off any remaining in the food. I've had a good time today going over the 3 ways that we can do some canning together. The high pressure, our freezer bag, and our water bath. And we will go into those more extensively as I share some recipes with you. I want to leave you with a couple of things today. The USDA Guide to Canning. This is the book that you really want to get. I'll put a link to that at the bottom. This gives you everything that you need to know about high pressure canning, freezing, and water bath canning. High acidic foods, low acidic foods, temperatures that you need to know, everything that you'd want to know to keep you safe from canning. And all you need is a simple kit to get you started. A lot of these are online. I'll put those in my links below, some recommended kits. Basically just 4 things that you need. A lid grabber to grab your lids out of your hot water, some tongs, a jar grabber, and a jar filler. So let's get started. Watch my sessions, subscribe to my page. We've got a lot of recipes to do together.